Hello, this is an instructional playthrough of my game Solitaire Journey. We're not going to go all the way through, but I hope it's helpful. To start the game, you separate out the 4 jacks and put them in this order: hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. Throughout the game, hearts represent landscapes of seacoasts, islands, oceans, places like that. Diamonds represent plains, prairies, moors. Clubs represent forests. They kind of look like trees. And spades represent mountains because they're pointed. The jacks are going to be used to count the rounds. As you go through the game, you'll be putting cards behind the jacks. And when you get all the way to where the first jack shows up, then you're going to put it behind. And then you're going to put all the cards in front and play through the game again. And when you end up with a jack of spades coming on top, then you know you're finished. The jacks also give you a place to store the items that you find along your way. So put those on the back of the deck. The rest of the deck is face down. Turn over the top 4 cards, and these cards form what is called the view, because that's what you can view as you look at them, but also that represents the things that you see on your journey as you look around. And what I have here is 3 of diamonds is a pathway through the plains. Right now I'm on the seacoast, so that's not going to be very helpful to me yet. The 2s represent keys. This is the key from the forest. This is the gold key, and that I'm going to store in a minute. The queens represent friendly guides who can help you, and if you don't have a map but you need a map, they can often show you how to get to a place you need to get going. And the 6s represent inns, so this could be an inn. If you happen to have a key of the same suit, which I don't right now, then you can go into the inn and unlock a hidden place and find a map. The 6 pips look kind of like a rectangular door, so that reminds me of an inn, and they also look a lot like the shape of a map. Okay, so far what I'm going to do is I'm going to store the 2 of spades, and that stores behind the jack of spades, face up, so that that separates it out from the cards that are face down. And now that I only have 3 cards in my view, I'm going to draw 1 more. Now I'm looking at what I have here, and I have a 9 of clubs, which is a tower in a forest. And in the towers you find scrying devices, but you can't access them unless you have a magic book, which I don't have yet. So I'm going to discard the 9 of clubs. And the way you discard is you turn it face down and put it in the very back of the deck. So at this point, I have my jacks, I have my key that's stored, and I have this card that I've discarded in the very back. And I'm going to draw another card. So now I have the 6 of spades. This represents an inn in the mountains. And I'm looking at my mountains here, and there's a 2, which is a key. So I come to an inn in the mountains. I go in, I have a key that allows me to unlock the hiding place for this map, and I get to keep the map. I'm going to store that behind the jack of spades. Now I'll draw another card. Okay, the kings also represent friendly guides, and the kings can unlock things for you, so they act kind of like keys. And the way I remember it is king and key both start with K, so I remember that the king acts like a key, and then the queen acts like a map. It could go either way, but I decided to assign it that way to make it a little easier to remember. And none of these cards are anything I can use yet, so now I want to discard one of them, and I have to decide which one would be good to discard, and I don't know yet. I think I'm going to discard the map from the hearts. We'll see if I regret that. And I'll draw another card to bring my view back up to 4. Okay, so now I have an ace. The aces represent treasures. The ace of spades, which is in the mountains, represents a cache of gold. But in order to find that cache of gold, I need a map, and I need a key to unlock it, which I stacked the deck a little bit before I started. Luckily, I have. There's the key, there's the map, so I get to keep the cache of gold. I'm rich. And once I do that, I have to discard the key and the map. So I'm going to discard the 2 and the 6 and put them behind. Alright, so at this stage I have the gold treasure, but I no longer have the golden key or the map to the mountain inn. And now in my view I only have 3 cards, so I'm going to draw another one. And this queen could act as a map if I were looking for something in the ocean area. This queen is for the prairies. I'm going to discard one of those. Which one should I discard? I think I'll discard the Queen of Diamonds. Put it at the very back of the deck and draw another card. Okay, now the 5s are very useful because what the 5s do is they are crossroads. They look kind of like an X, so that reminds me of a crossroad. And what the 5 does is it allows you to use a card that may not be of the right suit as long as it matches one of the 2 suits. So right now I am traveling along the seacoast and I'm looking for a pathway that will lead me along the seacoast or along the islands or possibly through the water. Could be a bridge or a boat or something. And I've got a pathway. The 3 pips in a line make me think of a path, but it's the wrong suit. The crossroads tell me that I am actually on a shoreline that is next to a prairie, and so I can use this card as long as I use the 5. I'll discard the 5 and the 3. And what the thoroughfares allow you to do, the 3s, is you can increase your view temporarily, and so now instead of only 4 cards in my view, I can have 6. So I'm going to draw 4 more. And I got a joker, which is bad news. When you have a joker, you've met somebody that's a convivial friend, but they sure like to have fun. They don't like to do anything serious, and they can throw you off by entertaining you and you forget what you're doing. When you run across a joker, you have to discard the joker and 3 of your other cards. If you only have 4 cards in your view, then you discard the entire view. If you have 6 cards in your view, you can still keep 2 of them, but you have to discard the joker and 3 of them. If you have 2 jokers in your view, even if you have 6 cards, or later sometimes we get 10 cards, then you have to discard the whole view. So I have to decide which 3 cards besides the joker I want to get rid of. And I'm thinking, now the 7s are flying objects, and you have to have a map to access those, and I don't have the map because I paid for the treasure, but I have a queen that could act as a map for the 7 of hearts, so I want to keep those 2, but I can discard the king and the 7 of spades and the 7 of clubs and the joker. Oops. So now what I have is 2 cards. I can draw 2 more cards to bring my view back up to 4. It was temporarily 6, but now it's just back up to 4. And now what I can do is I can use the queen as a map to find the place where the flying thing is. And for the ocean area, for the hearts, the flying thing is a magic carpet. And it's hidden on an island. And this is supposed to look like, here's the carpet, and here's a person sitting on the carpet. It's kind of a picture of that. The 7s, to remember what they are, they're all flying devices. And I think 7 rhymes with heaven, so that's an idea that you're going in the sky. Some of the other shapes, I imagine, for example, if you had the 7 of spades is a flying horse, and so this could be the four legs and the wings and the head of the flying horse. So there's some visualization that goes along with it. Okay, I'm going to discard the queen and the 7. Normally it's a map, but I'm using the queen to help me find it. And now I can draw my view all the way up to 10 cards temporarily. Because I'm flying, I can see a long way. So I'm going to draw 8 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll see what I've got in my view. Oh, I found another key. That's useful. So I'm going to store the 2 of hearts behind the Jack of hearts. And because all of the jacks are face up, it's pretty easy to find them. So that goes behind the Jack of hearts. So at this stage I've got this big view, then I've got my storage area, and then I've got these face down cards that are the discards. Let's see, what else have I got in my view that would be helpful? A little soon for the 8s and 9s. This game is sort of arranged, not entirely, but sort of, so that you're using the smaller cards at first, and then later in the game you're using the larger cards. The 8 is a magic book. You find it in a bookstore, and the sort of diamond lattice shape of the arrangement of the pips reminds me of the window in the bookstore with the panes, and also maybe the design on the cover of the book. In order to buy a magic book, you need a treasure and a map of that suit. And right now, I don't have anything in the way of diamonds. There's my diamonds. Yeah, I've got nothing. So I can't use that book. And you need the book to be able to find the tower. And I don't have that, so I'm going to discard those 2. Okay, now I'm looking at what I've got. Ace of hearts. What have I got in the way of hearts? I have a key, but I don't have a map. I need a map to find the treasure. So I would need either a 6 of hearts or a queen of hearts in order to access that 8. Let's think about the 4. Do I have any treasures? Oh, I do. I have the... Yeah, okay. So the 4 represents transportation. And if you're going through a forest, then the 4 represents a carriage, I believe. And in order to use that, I have to have some money to pay for it. And it doesn't matter which suit. So in this case, I have an ace of spades. I'm not going to discard that because it only takes a very small amount of my gold treasure to hire the use of a carriage for a day. So I am going to discard the carriage. And now... that actually was kind of silly, because what that allows me to do is to bring the view up to 6 cards. I can travel fast, but 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already got 6 cards, so that didn't make much sense. Well, let's pretend that I discarded this 9 first, and then we can bring it up to 6. Okay. All right, what have I got next? I've got some more. Oh, here's a 3. 3 allows me to bring a view up to 6 again after I've discarded some things. That might be worthwhile. I think I'll discard the Queen of Clubs. And what have I got in hearts? Do I have a... Oh, I already have a key, so I don't need the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts will unlock things for me in the coastal regions if I don't have a key, but I do. And the key that goes with the hearts is the pearl key. It's made out of pearls. Okay, so now I'm back down to 4 cards in my view, and I have a thoroughfare here that allows me to go quickly along the coast. And I'm on the coast. The hearts are sort of the area I'm in, so I can use that, discard that, and I can bring my view back up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, I'm not ready for the 10s. The 10s represent home. There's like this nice cozy space on the inside, and you're all surrounded by all these comforts. And the goal of the game is to get yourself to a really nice place where you can have a nice home to live in after all this journeying. And in order to get a home, you need to, let's see, what do I need for a home? You need a key and a map and a treasure, I think. Perhaps a map and a treasure. I am not seeing this on my chart, and I don't remember. Oh, yes, you have to have a flying item, a book, and a scrying tool, which is a 9. So you have to have a 7, 8, and 9, and a treasure to get to the home. And I don't have enough of that kind of stuff. So the 10s I'm not ready for. I will discard those. Okay. Let's see, I have a 2, but I don't have enough to get that. The heart treasure is a cache of pearls, and I don't have enough. I need a map to find that, and I have a queen, but she's the wrong queen. I need the queen of hearts. Now, if I had a 5 of hearts and a queen of spades, then I could use the crossroads to use those two, but I don't. The 4. I have that cache of gold, so I can use the 4 to hire a carriage to go across the plains. And that means that I can increase my view to 6. I can travel a little more quickly. All right, now we have found another key. And this key is called the Emerald Key. I just picked that because the forests are green. I didn't have any good reason. The 2 of diamonds is the diamond key. The 2 of spades is the gold key. And the 2 of hearts is the pearl key. So I made the 2 of clubs the emerald key. Now where the heck is my storage area? There it is. Okay, I'm looking for the jack of clubs. He will store my emerald key for me. All right. And I think I don't think I'm ready for that 9 yet. We'll get rid of that. And maybe we'll get rid of this crossroads. And I'll draw another card. Okay, I have a 6 of clubs. I just found the key. I've come upon an inn in a forest, and I have a key that allows me to find a map in the inn. So I'm going to store that behind the jack of clubs. And draw another card. And I'm not really ready for the 10 of diamonds yet, so I'm going to discard that. Again, that goes in the back behind all the jacks and the stored items. And I need to draw another card. Okay, I have an 8. Let's see, where am I? Oh, I have an ace of... no, I don't have a map yet. Do not have a map for the hearts. Which means I'm not ready for that 8. Maybe I'll get rid of that 5. Let's get rid of the 5 for now and see what comes up next. Oh no, here comes a joker causing all kinds of trouble. That means I have to discard that entire view. I got distracted visiting with that guy and lost track of what I was looking for. So now I draw 3 more cards. Okay. Can't really use the mountain pass yet because I'm not in the mountains, so I'll discard that. Well, I could use it. Let me think. I have a 5. That's a crossroads. So maybe I'm traveling along the coast, but I'm next to some mountains. And so that might let me take a shortcut through the mountains and increase my... Oh, and let's get rid of the 10 too. And then we'll increase the view to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, now I've got some 8s. Where am I? Well, let's see. I have an ace there. In order to get an 8, which is a magic book, I need to have an ace and a map of the same suit. And I have an ace. I don't have a map. I don't have a queen, which could act as a map. She could tell me where to find the bookstore. So I cannot do that. And with the jacks, I do not have an ace, so I can't do that either. So I guess I'm going to get rid of those 8s for now. All right, and probably don't need both of those 4s. I could discard one of the 4s. Because I have that gold, I'm able to hire a carriage, and so I'm going to discard that 4 for the carriage and increase my view to 6. Okay, so that's 6, yes. All right, so ace of clubs. It seems like I had some stuff there. Yes, I have a 2, which is a key, and a 6, which is a map. And if you have a key and a map, you can find the hidden treasure. Discard those 2 and store the ace, which is the cache of emeralds, behind the jack. It keeps track of them for you. Okay. And where am I? Oh, I found a key. I found the diamond key, finally. That took a long time. That stores behind the jack of diamonds. And I cannot get the ace yet because I do not have a map and I don't have a queen to tell me where I'm going. So that's not going to be helpful. And I don't have a map, so I can't use the 7. If you have a map, you can use the flying device without discarding the map. You can keep it. But when you find the treasure, you have to discard the map. So I'm going to discard that flying thing and draw another card. And that doesn't look very helpful. That's a pathway through the forest. But I'm not in the forest right now, so I'm going to get rid of that. Draw another one. And now I have, I've come to an inn on the moors, and I have a key that allows me to find a map in that inn. Okay. And then I think I'm... Okay, so at this point, I'm down to these 3 cards. Can I do anything with that ace? Oh, I could store the... I found a cache of diamonds. Hooray. I can get rid of the key and the map and get the cache of diamonds. I am rolling in the dough. Okay. And then I'm seeing the jacks coming up here. I may decide I want to keep those 2 cards in my view, the 2 kings. So this is where you do need to kind of have room to set stuff down. I'm going to set down the 2 kings. I'm going to set down my stuff. I cannot remember. I did not bring all my notes, and it has been a while since I've played this. So I think you may have to get rid of some stuff that you've stored. Possibly the keys. You get to keep the treasures. Let's pretend we have to get rid of the keys. Well, alright, so now you set aside all your stored stuff and you shuffle what's left. I am not very good at shuffling. I have old crippled hands that don't do a very good job. That's good enough. And I'm going to take these jacks and move the Jack of Hearts to the back. And now I'm traveling through the prairies or the moorlands or whatever you want to call that. Those now go to the back of the deck. The view goes to the front, and you draw 2 more cards to bring your view back up to 4, except, oh look, I got another joker. So that means that I need to discard that entire view and draw 4 more cards. And that is probably where I'm going to stop. The instructions tell what you need to get each of the items to go on, and I think that's probably enough. Well, let me just do one more. Let's see, am I ready for any 8s yet? That's what I was hoping. No, I'm not. Okay, we'll call that a playthrough.